Hi everyone, Ashish this side, and welcome to the session. So, this session is dedicated to, as you can see from the name itself, decoding the hackathon. I'm hoping most of you have enrolled in the hackathon. If you have not enrolled, you can enroll it now as well. This is going to be a data science and data analysis based hackathon where you will get a chance to work on a project. Like you will get an assignment, you need to work on the hackathon, make that assignment, make the project, and submit it to us. There are some important dates that you need to remember, and the first is the hackathon is already started. So let me give you a brief about the hackathon, then we will jump into how you can decode this hackathon, how you can get the best out of this hackathon, how you can maximize your chance of winning, and I'll share you my personal tricks as well that we are going to use. Like if you are having any if you add these things in a project, that will definitely add value in terms of evaluation when we are going to evaluate it. So let me tell you about the hackathon first, like what exactly is the hackathon. For that purpose, this is the page which is available in the description as well, so you can definitely check that out. So this is a World Cup wizard, so this is definitely totally dedicated to World Cup. All the terms and conditions and everything we are having any important dates, how you need to submit, everything is there on this page, where you can see the start date, the end date, the location, it's online, and the problem statement. Even the problem statement is also there. You can click on here, and then it will open the problem statement for you, how everything works, how the submission part works, what is the start date, end date, everything is there in the hackathon. And at the end, you're also having uh, the judges including myself, the criteria, like the potential impact, because it's definitely on uh, cricket. So because it's on cricket World Cup, so definitely you need to be in that particular range. You need to work on that sector, collecting the data, making the dashboard, comparing the player. There are a lot of things that you can do, and usage of the algorithm, correct AI techniques, that is definitely going to be a plus. UI UX, code quality, complete the documentation, everything will be there. So we are going to discuss that everything as we proceed further into the course. This means into this session. And one very important thing we are having here, make sure to make it interactive, because I'm having we are going to discuss about a lot about the pipeline, so I'm going to have a lot of question for you. So make sure to be attentive there. Now, as we are already discussing, we are also having the prize money, as you can see here. First prize 7,000, second prize 5,000, third prize 3,000, and the next five with the GFG goodies, and the next 10 free access to our courses. Okay, so this is about the World Cup Wizard. We are going to discuss in detail about the important aspects of it, like any important dates at the end of the session. But let me tell you, how we want the hackathon to proceed with. If you are a beginner, this is your first hackathon. So, or even if you are experienced, will you have worked on the hackathons? So, I'm going to tell you a brief about how the process will go. Like, what are the two types of things you can proceed further here with? And I'm going to start with the name. So the name of the this session is decoding the hackathon, but I would love to call it as hack the hackathon, because this session is totally dedicated to that, how you can hack this hackathon, right? So as I told you, there are two ways to proceed further with it, because this is a cricket based analysis hackathon. So you need to work on the relevant data, the relevant project. So there are two ways to proceed further with it. First is the data analysis one, second is the data science one. Okay, so data analysis, as the name can suggest, we are going to mostly focus on data analysis part. Okay, in data science as well, a lot of things will be covered of data analysis, and on top of that, we are building machine learning and deep learning algorithm. We are going to deploy them. But in data analysis, let's break the things to one by one. Let's break it to step by step process, and then we will see how the thing works. Okay, hi Avneet. So next we are having, so this is here, you can see we are having six different pictures. Each picture we are having here represent one step of the data analysis project, and let me define how. So just remember the pictures at this point of time. The next one is the first picture. So because it's a six-step process, basically, if I'm talking about data analysis, it's a six-step process. First step here is ideation. What is the idea you are having for this World Cup data that you are having? You might compare the health or physique of different players. You can make a UI where you can add like all the players of data. You can like compare what are the runs they have made, 2 player, 3 player, 4 player. You can compare them, winning chances of the team comparison you can do. So this is basically the data analysis. Just couple of use cases I have discussed. You can do a whole lot of things on that. Okay, so first step definitely is going to be the ideation, how you are going to make the idea, how the ideation process works. Okay, once you have defined, okay, this is the idea I want to make. Let's suppose a project which where you can select multiple players and you can compare them, based on the scores that they have done, based on the age, based on the fitness, based on the like matches they have played in the test and the ODI in the World Cup, anything. Okay, so if you want to make this, so the next is a pipeline. You need to define a pipeline in your mind, how you will proceed further with the code, with this hackathon. Okay, now for defining the pipeline, I mean to say how you will source the data, like how the actual output will look. Okay, you are having the idea, how you will implement that idea. For that purpose, you need to make a pipeline. Okay, this is also called as a project pipeline. Once you have defined the project pipeline, okay, this is the project I want to make, this is how you want to make it. Now you need to start searching for the next thing. What is the next thing you are going to have? Make sure to add it on the chats. Okay, okay, A to Z motivation. Okay, great. Nice presentation. Okay, great. So, so if I'm talking about the data pipeline, okay, so in data pipeline, what we are going to have, we are going to basically have how the data will flow. Now, in the next part, what we are having the data collection, how you are going to collect the data. So this is the library which represent basically the data set. Okay, in terms of this particular project, like this particular hackathon, you can take the data set of matches, you can take the data set of players, you can take the data set of anything else, like the stadiums, like in which particular stadium, what are the chances that India like if there is a match of, let's suppose, India versus Pakistan, that's the like that is celebrated like a festival in India and Pakistan as well. So in these kind of matches, like if you want to compare, like in which particular stadium, what are the maximum ratio of maximum chances of India to win or Pakistan to win, right? Or Pakistan to lose probably. So in these kind of cases, like the data of stadiums also need to be there. So that's totally up to you how you are going to proceed further with this. Okay, so next step is data collection. For data collection, there are a lot of websites available. For example, Kaggle is there. A lot of online repositories are there. Like on GitHub, like you can check if the data set is available. A lot of websites are there from where you can scrape the data. A lot of websites are there from where you can like call for the APIs, right? You can also collect the data from there. So there are a lot of data collection techniques that you can use, or you can also use a data set which is already created. Sorted. So what is the next step? So you have made the plan, you have the idea, you have made the pipeline, you have collected the data. Now the data is not always clean, or means then you need to proceed further with exploratory data analysis. You are having the data set, if you have collected the data set by yourself using web scraping or APIs, not UPIs. So in that particular case, what you will do, in that particular case, you will have a better understanding how the data set is, because you have collected the data set. But let's suppose in some cases you have not collected the data set, it's just already there, you have downloaded the data set created by someone else, and then you are using it. You need to perform some exploratory data analysis on that. Even if you have created it, you also need to proceed further with exploratory data analysis. You need to explore the data. What are the maximum, what are the minimums, what are the number of players we are having, what are the number of matches that are played, what are the number of stadiums we are having, right? What is the fitness score, on an average fitness score that a person should have, that a player should have. So this step called as exploratory data analysis. You need to explore the data set, right? Now, once you have explored the data set, the next step is data cleaning. How you will clean the data set? To clean the data set, you need to, for example, like if there are some missing values, there are a couple of players whose data I don't know how many matches that they have played. I am not having their fitness score, their weight, their height. Let's suppose I'm not having it in the data set, we are not having it. In that particular case, what we need to do, we can just, like, we need to deal with those values. Either we can remove that row, either I can remove the whole data of that particular player. Because if someone is using your website, you have made a project to compare two players data, any two player of your choice, Once for one player, I want to compare, let's suppose, based on height, right? It is not a very important factor because it's not basketball, but let's suppose at this point of time we are talking about the height. Let's suppose for player one I'm having height, for player two I'm not having height, right? Two player I'm comparing based on height. I want to compare it. I'm not having the data of other players height, so how I will compare it? I'll not compare it. I cannot compare it. So in that particular is what I need to do. Same thing happen for other features as well. So you need to know how data cleaning part should be done. This step is very, very crucial. Okay. Now, once you have performed EDA, once you have performed data cleaning, now this is the time to analyze the data set, to find important information from the data set. Okay. And this might tell you, okay, which player has scored most number of runs in ODI, most number of runs in World Cup, which team has won most number of World Cups, right? So these are the kind of comparison you can definitely do after analyzing, and these are the analysis that you will get after that. After analyzing everything, you can make the graphs and you can showcase those graphs on your websites. Some important aspect that like you some important insight that you have got from this data set, you can definitely display it on your website. Okay, so this is basically a 6-step process. Coming up in the background, we are having the same images: ideation, project pipeline, data collection. EDA stand for exploratory data analysis. If there is any like spelling mistake, I'm making the correction while speaking only. Data cleaning and data analysis, 6-step process. If you're thinking this is it, what do you think? This is it, or there is something else we need to do? What we need to do next? Okay, so the next step is this is definitely not the end because you have made the we have made the analysis. Now the next step is dashboard building. We need to build the dashboard in some way, right? Dashboard means you are having the analysis. You need to host this analysis somewhere. You need to make a website where people can select those two players, right? So you need to deploy those things. This is a very crucial, very important aspect that you need to cover. Must You must do it because otherwise you will be disqualified. Okay, so the next step is, as I've told you the last picture, dashboard building and deployment. You need to build the dashboard and you need to deploy it on the server so that anyone can use it. For deployment, you can use any server of your choice. You can use Flask, Django, or any other framework of your choice, but make sure your project is deployed. So this is the first part that we have covered. Data analysis is covered. Now the next step is data science. So in data science, we need to complete all the things that you have done so far in data analysis. On top of that, you need to proceed further with couple of steps. Okay, and what are those couple of steps? Those steps are these three. Okay, so just remember these images. We are going to discuss about each of it, like all those three in a minute. Okay, so here you can see this step. What is this? This is obviously not a black hole. This is, once we are having that data, we need to basically make the pipeline in such a way, as you can see here as well, we need to make the pipeline in such a way so that we can pre-process the data and we can feed it into the model. Because machine learning or deep learning, I'm not specific to machine learning algorithms only or deep learning algorithm, totally up to you which algorithm works best, suit best to your case. Okay, so in this particular case, what you need to do, first of all, you need to collect or basically pre-process the data in such a way so that you can feed it into the neural network or feed it into any machine learning algorithm of your choice that works best. Okay, so this is a very important part: data pre-processing before feeding into any machine learning model. And because we are making the pre-processing before feeding it to the neural network, so the next step is obviously the neural, not specifically neural network, but any machine learning algorithm of your choice or deep learning algorithm. So next step is building the model. So in building the model, as I've told you earlier as well, totally up to you which model works best. There's no one model that works best in all the cases. If you're talking about deep learning algorithms, it's not mandatory that all the deep learning algorithms works better than machine learning algorithms. It's not like that. In some of the cases, machine learning algorithm works even better than deep learning algorithms. So you need to choose wisely which algorithm you need to use. So this comes under model building part. You are going to build the model. Once you have built the model, then you need to check, okay, if the model is working perfectly or not. what's the accuracy, what is the F1 score, what is the precision, what is the recall, right? So you need to evaluate the model, how well your model is working. And once you are done, okay, my model is working fine, my model has got, let's suppose, like 90, more than 90% accuracy, now I can deploy it. Okay, now I've told you like these are the three steps on top of data analysis you need to do in data science. Data pre-processing. In data pre-processing, we are having all the things like splitting the data into train, test, validation, so you can uh, evaluate in the model building or model evaluation part. So those are all the technique that you are going to use in the data pre-processing part. But if I'm talking about these three steps, data pre-processing, model building, and model evaluation, these are the mandatory things. And on top of that, because that's also not the end, dashboard and deployment. Here, dashboard I have written just to match the thing, because earlier we were also using the dashboard. But here, dashboard means we need to make a proper UI. We need to make a project so that anyone can use it, and then you need to deploy it. Okay. So these are the two steps which are common. Okay, so the first six steps of data analysis are common. On top of that, you can add the three more steps into it: model building, data pre-processing, and evaluating the model, and then you can deploy it in the same way. Here as well, for deployment, you can use any deployment technique of your choice, any deployment server of your choice, any deployment framework of your choice. Okay, on top of that, we are having some ninja tips for you. Okay, and those ninja tips are, first one is complete the project. Okay, don't leave the project behind. If you are having, like, if you are adding 5 features into the project, don't leave those tips behind, don't leave any feature behind. If there is any incomplete feature, that's just adding more burden to it. If you want to make a great project, great project, you need to remove a lot of good things from it. Same like if you want to write a great book, you need to remove a lot of good chapters. To make a great movie, you need to remove a lot of good scenes. Same way, just take only the great features in your project. Sorted. The next is means, first is complete the project, second is make the documentation. Anything you are doing, make sure to have a proper documentation of this. Okay, it will not only help you in this hackathon, but it will also help you because you are making the project. You might be collecting the data set from your own, you are cleaning the data set, you are making the machine learning model, deploying, and even deploying it. So this is going to be an end to end project. This will, you can treat it like an capstone project if you put more efforts into it. So you can definitely use this project in your resume. You can share this project on a GitHub, on LinkedIn. In the interviews, you can definitely add this project. For that purpose, you need to have a proper documentation of this project. Make sure to have documentation of it. On top of that, the documentation will also help you in the hackathon, because we are also going to check how well you have documented this project. So this is a ninja tip. Again, make sure to have a proper documentation in the project. Any question, any doubt, you can add it in the chats. Okay, now for deployment part, like Streamlit, Flask, Django, Fast API, there are a lot of frameworks that are there. There are a couple of very easy framework. For example, Flask. On top of that, like we are having Flask, Streamlit, then Flask, then Django, then uh, Fast API. So this is the order. You need to make it in the reverse order, right? Django, Fast API, very scalable. So make sure to use them. Like if you are not that much familiar into it, you can start with Flask and Django as well. But this is the order. Go for either Fast API, Django, then if not Flask, if not Streamlit. Okay, and there are some other frameworks as well that you can use. Anyhow, because this is the hackathon not only for data science, but data science and web development, because there are a lot of deployment part here as well. Next step, UI will matter. Make sure to have a pretty decent UI. Make it simple, make it crisp, make it to the point. UI is gonna matter for sure. Two projects, same effort, even if like one project is better in terms of competition, but the UI is the key, because at the end you are going to deploy this project to the end user. There are millions of users. Just treat it like millions of users are gonna use it. Just keep that thing in mind and then make it, right? Read color theory, like how the color works, how the UI works. Okay, make sure to have a good UI. That will definitely, like, you will get some extra points from my side for sure if your UI is better. Okay, now the next is definitely, there are two ways to proceed further with it: data analysis and data science. Data science is always a plus. Like, I'll tell you the order. Deep learning is much better than machine learning. Machine learning is a bit better than data analysis, right? Just the data analysis. But that totally depend upon the use case, how you're dealing with the things. But if you are working on the machine learning or the deep learning or any other like models, advanced deep learning models, so you will definitely get some extra points from our side. But make sure to have a proper documentation. Don't write like in like call for the APIs and then you have done the project and then you will be like, okay, I have done this. It's not going to work like that. Okay, the use case is definitely going to matter. Okay, if you have made a great project, a proper use case of it, you'll definitely get some extra points in that. Okay, practical use case, as I've told you, like if there is any having a practical use case, you will definitely get some extra points from our side. Hosting is mandatory. Hosting is mandatory. If your website is not hosted, you will be directly disqualified. So make sure to host your website. You need to share the host link of the website with us. Okay, last but not the least, which I have already discussed earlier as well, which is don't leave anything incomplete. Complete the project, don't leave anything incomplete. Okay, so just to summarize everything, like complete the project, make the documentation, make sure to use some good scalable deployment frameworks. UI will matter. If you are having machine learning or deep learning or any advanced techniques used in the project, you will get some extra points. Practical use case will count. Hosting is mandatory. And apart from that, you need to submit the four things with us. Like in the submission part, you are going to write an article on based on your project that you have done. So that is a mandatory part. Apart from that, a demo video, you are going to demonstrate your project, how that project works, so that it will be easier for us to understand, and for understand to us basically how the whole project and how the pipeline works. Website link or the hosted link that you have made, the project, the hackathon website that you have made, the UI, the whatever project you have made, you're going to share that with us. So make sure to share the link of that. And the last thing is GitHub. You are going to take all the project, all the code that you have made, make sure to host it on GitHub, post it on GitHub, and then you need to share that repository link as well. Make sure to have a proper documentation there on GitHub as well. Some important dates that are there on the base as well. And still, if anyone's having any question, anything, so they can ask it. So there are some important dates which are given here as well. Starting date is 6th of October, so that means it's already started. End date is 15th of November. 15th of November is the end date of submission of this hackathon. So from 6th of October to 10th of November, anyone can register. Even if you are not registered now, you want to give it a try, definitely give it a try. You are going to learn a lot from this. Okay. In the last hackathon, we have seen students who don't know deployment while making the hackathon, while making the project, while working on the hackathon project, they have learned how to deploy the things. They have learned how machine learning works. It will speed up your process of learning. So make sure to give it a try. Even if you are not pretty great at machine learning or deep learning, you know a bit of Python data analysis, make sure to give it a try. You are going to learn a lot from this code of this hackathon. I can give you an assurance, if you have started it, you have given your 100% till 15th of November. Okay, I cannot guarantee you will win this hackathon, but you are going to, you will be multiple times better in this field in just like it's almost a month, not even a month, 25 days. Okay, so make sure to give it a try even if you are not great at it. So from 6th of October to 10th of November, anyone can register. And if you have made the project, you can make the submission earlier as well. From 10th to 50th is the final date of submission. Okay, 50th is the final, 50th November is the final date of submission. So make sure to submit it before that. Okay, so these are, I think, uh, the important dates and things we are having. So this is pretty much it. I have given you the ninja tips as well. So if you are having any question, let me check if there is any question from your side as well. Thanks Avneet. Thanks A to Z Motivation and Facts. Thanks Jay. And thanks Sakshi for the presentation. Okay, great. So I think this is pretty much it. And if anyone is having any question, they can ask us in the chats. Otherwise, yes, I think we can end the session. So to summarize, two ways, just to give you a recap how everything works. Okay. So we are going to start with the step one, just to give it a brief in just 2 minutes. Okay. Let me take you to the first slide. Okay. So hack the hackathon, then data analysis versus data science. You can either go for data analysis or data science. To reach to data analysis, you need to start with data analysis. To reach to data science part, you need to complete the data analysis step for sure. In data analysis, 6-step process, and as we have discussed, every step one by one. So this is going to be the ideation. Then you will make a pipeline. Then you will collect the data. Then you will perform exploratory data analysis. You will clean the data, analyze the data. And on top of that, there are some common steps both in data science as well, which is deployment, dashboard building, and deploying the project. And then data analysis will be done. Data science will be definitely a cherry on the cake. If you are adding that, you will get some extra marks for sure. In data science, we are having an extra 3-step process where you need to pre-process the data, build the model, and after building the model, you need to check the accuracy of the model, how well your model is performing. And after that, data pre-processing, model building, model evaluation, then again you will jump into the dashboard building and deployment, and that's it. And the tips I have shared with you, the Q&A is also done. And yes, if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, so you can search me on Google like Ashish Jangra. You can connect with me over there. If you're having any question, any doubt, anything related to data science, you can connect with me over there. So thank you so much, everyone. Okay. So Pranav Srivastav is saying I'm 12th class student wanting to participate. What's the scoring criteria for the hackathon? Okay, for the scoring criteria, Pranav, what you can do, you can go to the link which is given in the description. There's everything is mentioned. There's no any scoring criteria. Anyone can participate to it. And if you're a 12th class student, if you know Python or data analysis a little bit, you can definitely give it a try. Okay, so there's nothing like any scoring criteria you need to have for the winners. So definitely there is a step-by-step process you need to follow. You need to go for the article link, demo link, website link, GitHub link. You need to deploy the project and then submit it to us. And after that, the evaluation process will go on. Based on the evaluation, based on the project the student have made, based on the comparison, you will get the marks, and then the winners will be decided. So far there's no any selection criteria that we are having. Okay. So thank you so much everyone for joining in. Shukriya. And if you are still having any doubt, any question, anything in your mind, make sure to add it in the comments, or you can connect with me over LinkedIn. We can discuss there as well for the same. So thank you so much everyone. Shukriya. Bye.